We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
We thank you for watching.
None of what you hear, half of what you see. Welcome to Our TV, home of the allegedly. And today, Fresh off the press, we going to be speaking on the disappearance of Miss Nancy Guthrie, mother of NBC broadcaster and journalist Savannah Guthrie. And this whole situation right here sounds like something so fishy off of TV, you wouldn't believe me. But don't take my word for it. We only go straight off this press conference given to us by Sheriff Chris Nanos of the Pima County Sheriff Department and Special Agent Heath Yankee or Hanky. I don't know how to say it. It's a J. It's silent. It make a sound. It's one of the two, man. I don't know. But the timeline that Sheriff Nanos gave us is Saturday, January 31st, 5:32 p.m. Miss Nancy goes to a family member's home for dinner by Uber. 9:48 p.m. Miss Nancy is dropped off at home. Her garage opens. At 9:50, the garage closes. 1:47 a.m. on Sunday morning, February 1st, the doorbell camera disconnects. Red flag. 2:28 a.m. her pacemaker app disconnects. Red flag. 11 a.m. church contacts her family because she never made it. 11:56 a.m. family discovers she's missing. 12:03 p.m. 911 call is placed, and at 12:15 p.m. the deputies arrive. Now this timeline coming out of the mouth of the sheriff and the FBI special agent is real dubious. For one, they got us in the air speculating with who did it, why they done it. First discrepancy I see is they made sure they notified that she was dropped off by Uber to the family dinner. They don't say the same Uber dropped her off. And in this press conference, it seemed to clear that fact that it's not the Uber that drops her off. Other red flag for me is when the garage door opened, did she open it herself with an opener, or did someone from the inside open it? Then when we get back to Sunday morning, 1:47, when that doorbell camera disconnect, hello, is there other cameras? Was the camera destroyed? Do we have any footage? Any of that? Pacemaker app disconnects. Now, me looking into both these situations, I found something. Like the camera she has is the Nest camera. And Nest cameras, they can record without a subscription or anything. They just have up to, I think, a 3-day period. Yeah, 3-day period before it re-records over. So we're talking in a 12-hour period, roughly a 12-hour period before they find out she's missing and we get all this evidence and find out what's going on. The other thing I looked into was the pacemaker app. I was thinking if you disconnect from a pacemaker app, most likely it will alert your nearest family members, like your emergency contacts in your cell phone or something. But looking into that, it says no. I went on Google, of course. I mean, I'll share that with you. But the pacemaker says it would alert your doctor office. So boom, that's up in the air with me. And one example it gave was, say like if you go on vacation or something and you lose service with your device, it would automatically contact because it would lose connection. So that was a big red flag to me. Then when they threw the church in there, it was, don't want to lie to source. I'm not going to lie about the source. But someone said that she don't go to an actual building. Ever since COVID, her and some fellow members been gathering at a home, or she even been doing the virtual service, is what I've heard. Not saying I'm 100% on that. The family discovers she's missing roughly an hour later. My thing is, we go all the way back to 1:47 a.m. when the doorbell disconnected. Like no one gets alerts to their mother house, an 84-year-old. Like that sounds real fishy. Then he says at 2:12 a.m., the camera detects a person, but no video is saved. Issue I have with that is 1:47, the camera was disconnected, the doorbell. So that means it has to be another camera or something we ain't speaking on. Red flag. Another one is when Special Agent Heath Yankee was asked about the ransoms. He disclosed without really knowing, he said it, that it was 3 ransoms. He also is continuously saying that everything is in the family's hand. The family make the decisions and we go with it. But I mean, I watched enough series to know, I mean, you're working with the family, you don't want them to know. Every video the family doing look like a production. I don't know. I mean, allegedly. But anyway, it's no way to get a digital footprint on any of those two. And if we're arguing that she doesn't have a subscription to the camera, man, this is a NBC journalist and broadcaster, also attorney, mother. Come on, man, that subscription less than $20 a month. It's no question she got that subscription. The question is, who has Miss Nancy? Who has the motives to get Miss Nancy? And who we not looking into? Because one person keep coming up and they keeping them offline is Tim, which is the brother-in-law. Because they saying Tim is the last person to see her alive. But the problem I got with that is Tim was not the Uber driver. So did Tim take her home from the dinner? And is Tim missing? Where's Tim? Did we question Tim? I don't know. I mean, I'm tired, man. Y'all let them lie to y'all.
5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, and just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, which is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning, at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So that detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 2:28. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Now, I want to clarify some things that I may have already done, but yeah, I've gone over with the blood at the front door, the doorbell camera. It was removed, we know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from, but that's something we're not confirming. The car. The car that was at the home, it's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber. We did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken the Uber to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. And we located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, you guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up. I think you said somebody had mentioned.
You said the blood was found on the porch and on the front stoop. Just wanted to verify that.
I say porch, front stoop. It's all in that same general area by the front door.
Front of the house.
Front door, yes.
Given her medical condition and the fact that it was her blood, as you say, what would her medical condition do with her recovery if she indeed bled out or was bleeding when she left the house?
Well, again, I've got to be careful for HIPAA, but I would say this. We know she is in need of medication, daily medication. And we also know that this is day 4 or 5 and still we don't know that she's getting her medication. That could in itself prove fatal.
My question is, do you know, it's a two-part question, do you know what medication Nancy uses? And have you checked the local pharmacies or pharmacies around the state where they've bought, per se, this medication to keep her alive, to keep her healthy, while still look for her?
So we do know what medications, and we have contacted pharmacies. Probably need to go back to just make sure that they didn't. Maybe we contacted them early on. I know that night, Saturday night, Sunday morning. I know we were doing all the hospital checks, and that check was continuous every hour, going back out. And physically in person, deputies were going to each local area hospital and asking them to check their logs.
Blood anywhere else in the home besides the porch?
The only DNA evidence we've got back is on the porch. We prioritize things and we rush things, and those items we put out to a lab to rush it. And even then, it's 2, 3, 4 days. The other items could take 10 days, 20 days. But we had, and as the day progressed, we realized that there could be more to this, and we started in that. Remember, it was a search and rescue mission the first few hours, and we transitioned that over to a criminal investigation. With that, brought in our partners from the FBI and others.
Sarah Williamson.
Hi there. My question is just piggybacking off our colleagues here about how far this search has gone. When it comes to doorbell cameras, you say technology plays a critical role in this. Have you been actively door knocking the neighbours and businesses and collecting those doorbell cameras? And is there anything that has come up there? And how far is that?
I can't tell you whether things have come up or not, but we have door-to-door. I think we're still doing door-to-door, not just in that neighborhood, but other neighborhoods. We just, as leads come in and take us somewhere, we're going to do those things.
Okay, sure.
Hi.
The 212, the camera that detected movement at 212, was that a different camera than the one that was disconnected at 147, and where was it pointed?
We don't know that. We don't know which camera that was. When we did the software, it just told us that a person was detected, but I'm unaware of which camera that was.
So there were multiple cameras and you're not sure?
Sure, there were multiple cameras at the home.
Okay, and is there a possibility that this is not a ransom situation, and if so, what else could it be?
But your guess is as good as mine. I would say absolutely there's a possibility that this is nothing to do with the kidnapping, but we cover all angles. We're not going to dismiss something until we actually know for a fact that it's one way or the other. From a position that until we know she's out there, she's alive, and we're going to continue thinking that way until we find her.
Fox Digital, Mike Reese.
Yeah, sir. Michael Ruiz from Fox Digital. Sheriff, you said you've identified no suspects. Have you ruled out anyone she was with on Saturday night?
You know, we've talked to so many. I'm sure that my investigators have feelings about this one's clear or this one isn't. But no, I wouldn't say anybody's ruled out yet, because what if I rule you out and then later I learn something else? No.
So my follow-up, you mentioned that you don't know where the reporting of a forced entry came from. Do we know how whoever did this got into her house?
That I would not discuss with you anyway. We're actively looking at everybody we come across in this case. Everybody. We would be irresponsible if we didn't talk to everybody. The Uber driver, the gardener, the pool person, whoever. Everybody. It's so cliche, but everybody's still a suspect in our eyes. That's just how we look at things and think as cops. Does that mean we have a prime suspect? No.
Troy Hayden.
Are you actively investigating the son-in-law in this case? I know there were reports earlier this week, and you refuted that. You said you haven't eliminated everybody. Have you eliminated him or come close to it, or are you actively looking at him?
Have you been in communication with anyone who you believe could be the kidnapper?
You know, it goes back to what we talked about. Nobody's eliminated, but we just really don't have enough to say, this is our suspect, this is our guy, we know, or our gal. We just don't know that. And it's really kind of reckless to report that someone is a suspect when they could very well be a victim. It just, I bring to you, to the media, I plead with you to be careful of what it is we put out there, because we don't have anybody here listed as a suspect, and you could actually be doing some damage to the case, but you could do some damage to that individual too. Social media is kind of kind of an ugly world sometimes.
We're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. And this will be the missing persons with the reward that will be going out. The FBI has agents, analysts, and professional staff employees. Next, regarding the ransom letter. We are aware of a ransom letter that was sent to the local media and then to national outlets. As with every lead, we are taking it seriously. We are in communication with the family, and while we advise and recommend from a law enforcement perspective, any action taken on any ransom is ultimately decided by the family. So we're not going to go into facts regarding this part of the investigation. I think part of that message was with AI these days, you can make videos that appear to be very real. So we can't just take a video and trust that that is a proof of life these days because of the advancements in AI and trying to actually get a proof of life that we can verify. But we're not going to go into anything the family may or may not have received. And that is what I think is important, that if someone has Nancy and is demanding the ransom, that there is communication with the family. We talked about has been no proof of life. And there was no other demands within that letter. So they're still waiting for communication.
When did the first ransom note arrive? And the reason I ask is because the Apple Watch has been in the news and on social media, and you could see like floodlights on video. So was it before those things were out in the world?
I don't have the specific time frame as I sit here today of what time it came in, but that you are right. Anyone could see a floodlight hanging down, could have seen some of those things. The watch has been talked about, so that timing is tricky, but that's why we're taking it serious no matter what and following the leads on that. But I don't have the time frame that the first note came in as I sit here today. Thank you.
Am I 5 p.m. Eastern? I'm sorry, I know it's not Arizona. Just 5 p.m.
I don't.
It's 5 p.m.
And then, sorry about that, Inside Edition, Jim Murray.
Special Agent Yonke, given the fact that the FBI participated in the creation of this family video, does that suggest your belief that the author or authors of that ransom note, in fact, have Nancy Guthrie?
Again, we're taking the ransom note serious, and we are following that part of the investigation.
And does the fact that there is a ransom note suggest to you that Nancy Guthrie was taken specifically because she's Savannah's mom?
There's nothing to indicate that.
So, in regards to a timeline on that ransom note, is that being an impact in your investigation? Are we nearing that timeline?
I'm sorry, one more time.
So, in regards to the timeline in the ransom note, are we nearing that timeline? And is that playing a part in the investigation?
We're not going to go again into specifics of that part of the investigation with the ransom note, other than what we've put out there. We've been transparent. We're talking about we are working that ransom demand, but we don't want to go anything further than that could impact any opportunities. Thank you.
So what you think? Feel like you got any questions answered? Any closer to speculations? You can name you any suspects, any personal interest, anybody with a motive? No, 'cause I don't think that was the intention. But I got something nobody been speaking of. We keep speaking on the brother-in-law Tim as a possible suspect, but everybody seems to forget about Savannah's work history, what she exposed first, and who her ex-husband is. I'm done talking for today.
Attack on the Guthrie family. They are merely questions regarding overlooked possible connections to the Guthrie family and the rumblings of panic behind the scenes of an elite reeling with the damage compounding due to the recently released Epstein files.
When a group of people who have experienced trauma of this kind come together united against a common enemy, there's a very special bond between us all.
Marika Chartouni, Anushka DeGiorgio, and Rachel K. Benavidez sharing their stories about Epstein for the first time on television.
I think the nature of this kind of abuse means that you're conditioned to be silent, to be isolated, secretive, and shameful.
You're like, I'm just not going to say anything because that's what he told me to do.
Behind the scenes, Savannah's husband, Michael Feldman, isn't just some PR suit. He's a deep state operator with 8 years in the Clinton-Gore White House, serving as Al Gore's traveling chief of staff and a key congressional liaison for Bill Clinton himself. Begging the question, is this payback from the Clinton machine's endless web of scandals? Feldman's tentacles run deep into the globalist swamp, co-founding the Glover Park Group, a D.C. political consulting powerhouse. This firm pops up in the Epstein files, linking straight to Epstein's network of influence peddlers. The timing is impeccable. Just as the Clintons are hauled before Congress on February 26th and 27th to spill their Epstein ties, this kidnapping erupts. Coincidence or a desperate warning shot from the shadows to keep mouths shut?
According to internal State Department memos, the agency might have called off or intervened in investigation into possibly illegal and inappropriate behavior within its ranks, allegedly to protect jobs and avoid scandals. This concerns the time that Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State.
Good morning, Savannah. You know, there's an old saying in Washington that the cover-up is worse than the crime. But in this case, both parts of it are disturbing. Allegations of prostitution and pedophilia, and allegations that those crimes were somehow covered up or not looked into. So the State Department this morning is having to respond to those claims and those investigations of misconduct by State Department officials, including by an ambassador and security agents attached to then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
We've offered flexibility on scheduling. We've tried to accommodate. The response we received was not cooperation, but defiance, repeated delays, excuses, and obstruction. The Clintons had documented relationships with Epstein and Maxwell, including President Clinton's trips with Epstein and Maxwell, evidenced by numerous photographs, flight log records, wedding invitations, and other materials. We repeatedly informed the Clintons' attorneys that a written statement would not be sufficient. The subpoenas required a deposition.
With Feldman's Glover Park Clinton cleanup crew entangled in this mess and Nancy Guthrie's fate hanging in the balance, America awakens to the real threat, a cabal where kidnappings, cover-ups, and child exploitation are just business as usual.